Welcome back to Geometry, Chapter 11, Section 5. In this book, we are talking about areas of circles and sectors. So, we've been doing areas of not circles, and we divided into triangles. But what if it's something that's all round, and you can't divide it into triangles, like a circle? That's where we talk about it today. Now, so you probably have already learned in your past life somewhere that the area of a circle, always draw the shape that the area is as a subscript, because that helps me keep them all straight in my brain. Okay, the area of a circle is pi r squared, and we talked about where pi came from last time. So pi r squared, cornbread r round. Okay, it's a lame math joke. But we got to use math jokes wherever we have them. And especially it's lame because I don't cook my cornbread in a skillet. So I make my cornbread in a square pan. So it really doesn't work because pies are round and cornbread are squared. Anyway, and so you're probably like not even country and don't eat cornbread. So this joke is just going over your head. All right. Anyway, because it's so lame, not because it's so smart. All right, pi r squared, cornbread r round. So let's practice this. You should have learned this a long time ago, but if not, today's a good day. We have a circle with a radius of 8. What's the area? Well, area equals pi r squared. So pi times 8 squared. You put it on your calculator, and it is about 201.6. Whenever you have pi, because pi is an irrational number, which means it goes on for decimals forever without repeating, without getting in a pattern of repeat, then the actual answer is 64 pi, because 8 squared is 64. But nobody knows what that is in their head. So you have to get your approximately equal to answer. Okay? So here's another one. They said, what is the diameter? The area is 96. Area equals pi r squared. We sing substitute. And we substitute 96 for area, and we say area equals pi r squared. Why is r not alone? It's being multiplied by pi, so we divide both sides by pi. Then why is r not alone? Because it's squared, so we do the opposite and take the square root. So the answer is, the radius is square root of 96 over pi, and that's about 5.53, but they didn't ask for the radius, they asked for the diameter, so we have to multiply it by 2. Always watch out for that. They're tricky like that. Always make sure that you don't quit before you're done. Okay? And see, that's a southernism to say done, because I've had northern friends go, done? What are you cooking? For you northerners or out west people, I mean finished. Don't quit before you're finished. Or as we say in the South, don't quit before you're done. All right, next one. What about area? Here I've got Pac-Man, and here's his mouth. The area of his mouth is, or this section that's his mouth, is called a sector. So we already know the area of the whole circle, but what about just that sector? The great thing about this is it's very similar to the formula we learned last time. Last time we learned there was a relationship, a ratio, where you could cross multiply and solve for x between an arc length in units of length, like meters, divided by the circumference in units of length, like meters, is to the arc in degrees over the whole circle, 360 in degrees. And that was real easy. I'm sure you did your homework. So now, it turns out with the arc sector, it's the same ratio holds true. That the area of the sector is to the area of the whole circle as the arc sector in degrees is to the whole circle in degrees. So remember, the area of a circle is pi r squared. So sometimes you have the area of the circle, sometimes you have the radius, and you have to go from there. Sometimes you have the diameter, and how you solve all of these is cross multiply and solve for x. And if you don't know how to do that, go look at my Algebra 1 videos, go look at my pre-algebra videos where it says, where it's titled cross product is also what that's called, or cross multiply, because that is super important. On the SAT, when I took it the second time, where my scores were really, really good in math, my math scores just exploded, because it really clicked in my head that so many math problems, no matter whether they're geometry or trig or pre-calculus or whatever, are just cross multiply and solve for x. Whether it's an interest or whatever, just over and over and over again, one of the absolute most important things you need to know how to do is cross multiply and solve for x. Alright, that was my little spiel there. So here we have this, and we want to know what is the area of the blue, the sector. We're given that the radius is 4 feet and the degrees is 80. And you know that's for the arc and the center of the circle. Those would both be 80 because it's at the center, being Pac-Man, not Roly-Poly Oly's grandpa. That's a different one. Do I need to sing the song? Okay, not today. Alright, so we set it up as our ratio into our formula. X, the area of the circle, is what we're looking for. The area of the whole thing is pi r squared. R is the radius. And then what goes here is the measure of the angle in degrees, of the sector in degrees, and or the arc length in degrees, and it's 80. And then the whole circle. So see, it's the part to the whole, the part to the whole. The part is to the whole as the part is to the whole. Easy to memorize formula. So fill in everything that you know here. Now cross multiply. X times 360 equals 80 times pi times 4 squared. Y is x on limits being multiplied by 360, so I divide both sides by 360. I can put all of that in my calculator and hit enter and get 11.7. If you do this all in your calculator though, you need to either put the numerator in parentheses or use the alpha y equals buttons on your calculator and put it in as a fraction, or else your calculator has a hard time to know what is getting divided by 360. Alright, so very important. Use that calculator, get good at it, make sure you can get the answer that's in the back of the book. I only give you odds for homework with the answers in the back of the book, so do those odds and check your answers after every problem. Okay, here's another one. We have this, I had to give him his eye. It looked like Pac-Man. He had to have an eye. So the eye's not really in the problem. So here I have Pac-Man. His radius is 9. And they want the area of his mouth and the area of Pac-Man. Okay, so we'll do the red part first, his mouth. So we want the area of the sector, that's our unknown, divided by pi r squared, radius is 9, with on top here the degrees, then 360 the whole circle. Cross multiply, solve for x, and it's 42.41. You should be able to do that, so I'm not going to do it here. Okay, now for the whole circle. Well, the whole circle is pi r squared, so I can do pi 9 squared and get it, and I could get Pac-Man by subtracting the red part from the whole thing. So 254.46 minus 42.41 equals 212.06, and that is the area of just Pac-Man. Alright, math is great. Come back next time and we'll finish this chapter.